Just another baddie up the hill.
Alaikum, Isa.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, brother. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. You know, just keep on keeping on. You know.
I hear you.
Yes, sir. Patty cake. How'd you come up with that idea? Like the name of that?
So, I had a previous shop before called Rose's Halal Kitchen. I used to get like frozen patties. I used to sell them there, you know, and I seen that there was a demand for it. So, I got a recipe from my grandmother. She taught me how to make patties, and I decided that I want to open up a patty shop. But I decided that I want to sell other stuff as well, you know. So patty cake, nursery rhyme, kara, and I said, let's throw some ice cream in there. So we came up with patty cake and ice cream, and yeah, that's how we got it.
That's actually super sick. And you said your grandmother gave you that recipe. Was your grandmother a huge influence on I guess your trajectory when it comes to like cooking and being in like the restaurant industry?
Most definitely. My grandmother, for most people, your grandmother is the biggest chef that you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And growing up, she was always in the kitchen. Like when I used to be at my grandma's house, before I woke up in the morning, breakfast was made and everything, and she was constantly in the kitchen, and she taught me a lot, like how to prepare food, like how to take care of the kitchen. And me being the oldest of 5 children, like it was incumbent upon me to learn it, like I had to learn how to do these things. So yeah, grandma was definitely a big influence, rest in peace, grandma,
Rest in peace, grandma. Honestly, grandmas are like the biggest, when it comes to especially boys too. Boys, like I feel like boys are like this with their grandma. I was like this with my grandma. Like I was raised by my grandma, like parents went to go work, and who are the ones going to take care of the kids versus grandma. Yeah. So I'm the youngest of 5. Okay. You're the oldest of 5. I'm the youngest of 5, right? Yeah. So me and my brothers were like this with my grandma. So I could 110% see like from your point of view on how that is. Patty cake is patties are somewhat of a Jamaican thing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a Jamaican thing. Most cultures have their form of patties, but I feel like the Jamaican patties are the most.
Thing.
Yeah,
we're gonna be honest. And even if other people have Jamaican, patties, Jamaicans do it the best. I'm gonna be honest. Jamaicans do it the best. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Jamaicans do it the best. How is it growing up in like a Jamaican culture? In a Jamaican, you grew up around like a lot of Jamaicans?
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely.
You grew up in, I'm assuming Scarborough, right?
Yeah.
So growing up in like the Scarborough environment, knowing that there's like a lot of like Jamaican influence, how did that influence like your upbringing, like your whole entire train of thought? Like this is the route I want to take.
That's a very good question. Reflecting upon it now, because when you're a kid, you're just living life. You know what I mean? But reflecting upon it now, it has a lot. I mean, it even has a lot to me becoming a Muslim. Growing up in a Jamaican household. We're very anti-establishment, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure, you're bona fide, this and that, you know what I mean? And we're very strong with, like, community, you know what I'm saying? Being strong individually, being militant, And growing up, that was in our household, you know what I mean? It kind of shaped me into the person that I am today. Like, the culture, just the way of life, like the Jamaican style, the food, you know what I mean? And today I realized that a lot of I guess things that I was taught were culture, but it allowed me to be the man that I am today. So discipline to have a business. You know what I mean? The food that I give to everybody is the food that I grew up on my whole life. You know what I mean? So these things it's like second nature being in here. It's like just life. You know what I mean? So it has a lot to do. And I'm very grateful for it, you know what I mean? Very grateful for it, the way that I was brought up, the way that my mom raised me, being very disciplined, doing a lot of chores and stuff like that. Yeah.
Were you born here?
Yeah. I was born in Scarborough General.
First generation Jamaican, I'm assuming, first generation Canadian, I'm assuming. Right. How was that like trying to, I guess, what year were you born?
82.
82, so yeah. So you grew up in a time where like progression wasn't like a thing.
Right.
So your time from you probably remember a little bit of the 80s. You
definitely
remember the 90s.
Yeah, definitely.
So you probably even remember like the hardships that people were going
through.
Yeah. You remember all that. How has that how has those trials and tribulations, how has it trickled down into your, I guess, the way you lead your business and the way you lead a community? Because Patty Cake is a brand, it's a community, but it's also, you're Muslim, right? So you push the halal brand, right? You push that unity. How has that whole entire progression in life being a first generation Canadian, how's that influenced you? Because it's tough.
Right. You know, being a first generation Canadian, when you're young, you understand that you're Canadian and that, you know, like your parents come from a different place and it's different, but you identify with them, you know what I mean? You're able to identify with both sides. I'm able to kind of separate it, you know what I mean? So I take the good from it and I leave some of the stuff that are not necessary, you get what I'm saying? And I'm able to take the good from, like, you know, growing up in that generation, you know, the discipline. Like, you know, back then, you know, your parents could beat you, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know, yeah, you could get,
Even my generation.
yeah, you know, you can get slapped outside. Nobody's gonna say nothing, you know what I mean? By your parents, obviously, you know? So, like, you know, discipline and stuff, and I feel that, not that, you know, like with my children, I'm not as strict as my mom was with me, obviously, but I feel that I use a lot of what I was taught in those times onto my children, you know what I mean? So it gives them a sense of discipline that I feel that is really lacking today, you get what I'm saying? I feel like because, you know, like, you know, I told you my age, I was born in 82. So, you know, like being older, I'm able to guide a lot of these young kids today, you know what I mean? A lot of these young brothers, like, you know, sometimes I get kids that come in here that want to do hours because, you know, they've, you know, school or trouble or whatever, you know what I mean? So because I've lived a certain lifestyle, I'm able to show them, like, you know, maybe you could cut out some of that stuff, you know what I mean? Because it's a long journey, you know, life is a journey, you know what I'm saying? So I'm able to influence the younger generation and, you know, kind of show them the good, you know what I mean? Try to steer them away from the bad, you know what I mean?
How were you able to like stir yourself from the bad and the good, like coming up outside of like your mom and like the discipline? Because at the end of the day, discipline is like it's the recipe for anything.
Right.
As long as you're disciplined to anything, like you could like you automatically have the code to break anything, right?
Well, I didn't stay away from trouble. I got myself in a whole bunch of trouble growing up. Yeah, I mean, you know, growing up in Scarborough, you know, it's you know, there is a lot of influence, you know, street influence, music influence, and stuff like that. I would say the one thing that kind of guided me back to a straight path is Islam. You know what I mean? You know, like I had a lot of the principles, but it's not organized. You know, Islam gives you a sense of purpose, it gives you a brotherhood, and a lot of these things you're chasing in the streets. You know what I mean? Friendship, brotherhood. You know what I mean?
Materials.
Right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those things are they don't have foundation. They're not sturdy, you know what I'm saying? In Islam, you find real brotherhood, you know? I've met brothers that they come here, I never grew up with them, but they come here, they check up on me, you know? We keep in contact and stuff like that. So I feel like once I found that, I was more grounded, you know what I mean? And it allowed me to focus more on, you know, just what's important, you know what I mean? Because when you're in the streets, you worry about a lot of other things that's not necessary, you know? But it's necessary because you're in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Yeah, Islam was probably the number one thing. You know, I went through a lot of trials and tribulations, you know, a lot of errors, you know what I mean? So you learn from life, you know what I mean? Some people don't learn, some people learn. Alhamdulillah, Allah guided me that I learned, and we're here, you know?
100%, man. Like, even like, you're 82, like, I was born 2000.
Okay.
So I was born 2000. Like, even my generation of kids, because a lot of stuff can be like convoluted over social media, especially
Right,
too.
right.
And a lot of things can be like resolved like interpersonally. Everything's resolved over social media. When stuff is resolved over social media, it could be like even heightened because now you're displaying like the hate for someone else, right? And you can just you can go down like a rabbit hole, just like constant BS, right? What is like a word of advice that you would tell them right now if they're in that situation? Obviously, we know that it's tough, right? Things happen, like, you know, things that you feel like you're not gonna make it out. You feel like it's the end of the world. What's something that you could tell them that you told yourself like being in those situations? Like, what's something that you could tell them to like help them get out of that mindset?
I would say the number one thing, and it's gonna sound like, you know, off. No, it's gonna sound off, but friends are overrated.
100%.
You know what I mean? I feel that a lot of times when you're young, you put a lot of effort and a lot of stock into friendship. You know what I mean? I would encourage them to focus on self. You know what I mean? Whatever their dream is, even if you take little steps, always step towards it. You know what I mean? Because everybody has a dream. Nobody really wants to be, you know, wherever they're locked up or, you know what I mean, in some trap or whatever the case may be, you know? Those are just means to try to get to where you want to go, you know what I'm saying? So whatever steps you got to take those small steps to get to where you need to go. Focus on self, you know what I mean? especially as a young man, you know what I mean? Because sometimes as a young man, you think that time is like forever, you know what I mean? As you get older, you realize that time is not the same as it was when you're in your 20s, you know what I'm saying? And that time is very precious because you can set a foundation that's in your 20s that when you're in your 30s, you're benefiting off of, you know what I mean? So that's what that's what I would encourage them to do. Focus on self. Friends are a little overrated. Not to say not to have friends, you know what I mean? But, you know, friends are a little overrated. Yeah, very much choose them wisely, you know? Try to get more brothers than friends, you know what I mean? If you get brothers that you guys have the same goal that you guys are trying to get to, that you can work together to accomplish, that'd be the best thing to do, you know?
For me specifically, to like even reflect off of that, like I had to take a specific amount of time, and luckily for me too, like my trials and tribulations were early,
Right.
when I was like early teens, right?
Okay.
So like I had like issues, right, that I went through, and I had to realize this is not the path for me, right? And I got in a little troubles, and I had to move from where I was,
Right.
and I realized like what I was doing. I had like an early realization, right? Like, I really like what I was doing wasn't right, right? Like it's not it, and it's hard too because like you need to figure out a way to make it something, right? And a lot of people don't have the foresight or like the belief within themselves to go achieve something that they can do, right? And halfway there, the podcast like I just started, right? The idea behind it is to connect young men, young women that are in tough situations, that are trying to make something for themselves, but don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Do you see young kids, young men, and young people coming in here, I guess, with a sense of trying to get like some type of mentorship, even outside of like the BS, right? So the people that maybe have been a part of that aren't in trouble, that are coming to you like, oh, I need guidance, right? Like, and how can they reach out to you? Just like, okay, I want this, I need this, right? Because like if not, because like I'm you're hopeless.
Right. Well, first and foremost, I'm always open for the young brothers out there, regardless, young brothers or sisters that are looking for any kind of advice, any kind of direction. I always do whatever I can. You know what I mean? But the advice that I would give to them, well, first and foremost, I've had a couple young people that are in here, you know. Some are in here because their parents, you know, see that they're on a path and they want to, you know, for me to talk to them. I'm more than welcome, you know what I mean? Some of them are here because, you know, they've gotten in trouble and, you know, the courts require them to do some hours or whatever, so they're here. And I'm all for that too, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, most definitely, if they're looking for any kind of guidance, I'm here. You know, I also got other brothers that, you know, are involved in, you know, trying to think. My wife, she's involved in giving therapy and stuff like that to young folks. So there's more than one way that I can help out. You know, if I can't help out, I know somebody that could probably can. You know what I mean?
Now let's get a little bit more into the restaurant. So patty cake. What is your favorite thing that's on the menu?
My favorite?
Your favorite thing.
So I get asked this a lot. So my favorite thing is oxtail or curry goat, right? Those are traditional, hardcore Jamaican dishes, you know what I mean? The most popular is always the jerk chicken. I feel because obviously the people I target is the Muslim community, and they obviously hear about jerk chicken the most, you know what I mean? So whenever they come in here, they want to, you know, try the jerk chicken if they never tried Jamaican food before. But those that know, they know, you know what I mean? They know the oxtail, the curry goat's where it's at, you know what I mean? Yeah, and my mom, she does it up stupendous, you know, perfect. So
do you work in here like with like siblings as well, or do you like employ a little bit of like your family, because you just say your mom?
Yeah, so it's me and my mom. You know, my siblings, they come in and chip in here and there, you know. Shout out to my brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? They always come in and help out, but they got their own lives, you know? So yeah, they do their own thing, you know? Other than that, you know, I employ people from the community, you know what I mean? Young people, whoever's that's willing to work, you know what I mean? And that they can use this as a stepping stone to get to where they want to go, you know what I mean?
How do you feel like working with family? Is it, like, what's the negatives and what's the positives to it?
So, you obviously talking about my mom, right? So okay, so
you choose your words carefully.
that's right. Tread lightly. But Okay, with my mom, me and my mom have a great relationship because like I told you, I'm the oldest of 5. So you know, when you're the firstborn, there's a special bond. You know what I mean? So we've always had a great relationship, and throughout all my trouble, she's always been supportive. She's always been a rider. So you know, that's just kind of how she is. But
Shout out Mom Dukes.
yeah, definitely shout out Mom Dukes. Mama Rose, everybody knows Mama Rose. So yeah, the negative is that when things do go wrong, I can't be a boss to her. You know what I mean? I also always have to remember, regardless, I have a position. You know what I mean? And anytime it does get a little heated, I always try to remember to apologize. You get what I'm saying? Because you know it's a business, and you know things get tough. You know what I mean? But I will say that you know, because you know mother son, there's nothing that's gonna ever like break it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you know, with most people, if you have a partnership, you know somebody's feelings can get hurt, and pride will not allow them to return. You know what I mean? So with my mom, that's never an issue. You know what I'm saying? The good thing is that I could always rely on her. You know what I mean? So you know, things come up, and when you need somebody that's there, especially with something like your business, because this feeds my family. You know, you need somebody that you can truly trust. And out here, what I've learned is that it's hard to find people like that, you know what I mean? To truly trust with these type of things. And also too, it allows me to spend time with my mom that normally people don't get to spend with their mother, you know? Some people don't see their mother for months, weeks. I see my mother every day, you know what I mean? I'm very grateful for that, you know? So
yeah, a lot of people don't realize the value of having like a parent with them. A lot of people think, God bless, I grew up with both parents, you know, but I have a few people that didn't grow up with parents. Right. You know, I know a few people, and it's tough. Like,
it's really tough.
There's a sense of emptiness.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Even being able to like spend that much time with your mom's a blessing. You know?
I'm trust me, bro. I'm very grateful for it. You know what I mean? I feel that, you know, one of the reasons why my business has been, you know, successful and people know about it is because of her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She brings a lot of barakah, a lot of, you know, warmth to my business, you know what I mean? So definitely very
she puts the mom on mom you know? She puts the mom on that, you know? What do you feel like is the trajectory of Patty Cake? What do you think it is?
Nice. You got some good questions, bro. I like that. You know, the plan is to expand, you know what I mean? Because we have a specific niche, we're able to try to reach the community, you know what I mean? So within Scarborough here, you know, we try to reach the Muslim community. You know, we go around to the masjids and stuff like that. We promote ourselves. And for the most part, within Scarborough, people know us, you know. Between this spot and the other spot that we had, Rose's Halal Kitchen, people really know us, you know what I mean? So the plan is to expand, you know, try to reach the community. Matter of fact, I'm in the process of opening up a second location at Keele and Sinclair area.
I used to work around
there.
Yeah? I used to be a personal trainer. Right by Stackyards.
Yeah. Stackyards, that's right. We're on the south side. So it's Western Road, I think. Or where it turns into Keele. Yeah. We're right there, like right across from the Tim Hortons. Okay, you know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. So we're trying to get to that part of the community, you know what I mean? And then to branch out more, you know, we have plans on, you know, trying to get to Ottawa, Edmonton, you know? Wherever the Muslims at, we're trying to get to them. You know what I mean?
Honestly, man, that's the best. Like, I was going to say, because like, there's a large Muslim community everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're in pockets.
Right.
Like they're big communities, but they're in pockets. So like, if you could just figure out like that recipe and like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do it. Push, grow. Like honestly, man, like the sky's the limit. Man. The sky's the limit. And building the connections with like even other businesses, like what you did with
Fuegos.
Like Fuegos.
Shout out to Fuegos. Sorry to cut you, brother. That brother right there, mashallah, he's such a good brother, yo. 100%. Good-hearted brother. He's helped me so much. You know what I mean? And you know what? Not just him. Since we're in this, shout out to Minnie Mose. You know,
shout out to Minnie Mose.
Minnie Mose,
fantastic brother.
Yes, Minnie Mose. The sister and her husband there. When I used to have Roses, they helped me out so much too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about the Muslim community. You know, once you get in there, it's like a family. You know what I mean? I've connected with even Omar Half Notes there. You know what I mean? These brothers have always helped me, always supported me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very grateful for the Muslim community. You know, they've accepted me. They appreciate what we bring to the table. You know what I mean? People come here and they rave about the food. They love it. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely, I love connecting with these.
Even outside of the Muslim community, like I have some men downtown. Like you know, they're Trini, Jamaican. Like like, yo, I was thinking, I'm about to do patty cake.
Yeah.
They're like, you want to do patty cake? I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Like, oh shoot, bring back some food. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's ringing out there. I'm not gonna lie. Still, alhamdulillah. Like, you know, like, and once again, my mom, you know, she's the architect behind all of it. You know what I mean? She doesn't cut corners. She makes sure that the food is quality. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people, they come from all over. I have people that come from Bowmanville, you know, Mississauga, wherever. You know what I mean? And they appreciate the food. So
I mean, that is like a testament to your work. Man.
Yeah.
I also I was looking around a little bit. I seen the Blog Tio, thing back there.
Yeah.
And like talk about that. How was that? How did that feel? Like, you know, like getting recognized like that.
So when we first opened up, we got a lot of attention. But like I said, it was coming from the other restaurants. So when they've heard that we opened another one restaurant, we got a lot of attention. And people would come in, they would try the food, and they loved it. So somehow Blog Tio reached out to us. They came in, they did the article, and it was great. CBC, my boy Suresh Dash, he does like food reviews, you know what I mean? He came through and he loves the patties and he did a review. Yeah, he did a review and it was crazy, bro. Thing is that I don't do anything. It's the will of Allah, you know what I mean? Honest to God, I don't do anything. All I do is sit here, cook, you know, be nice to the customers, and the word gets out there, you know what I mean? And somehow Blog Tio heard, CBC heard, all these people heard, and they reach out to us like yourself, you know what I mean?
I'm a big man. Inshallah, you know, lead the right path, and whatever happens.
That's right. That's right.
As long as you try to lead with the right intentions.
That's right.
Right intentions, things should be good, you know?
That's right. All you gotta do is put your best foot forward, and the path will open up, you know what I mean?
To close it off, like I said, my brand is halfway there. For the young people that feel like they're stuck, right? That feel like they're stuck, that feel like they don't have any way out. The reason why I created the brand Halfway There is because literally, he's a business owner. The last few interviewees that I've done, they're business owners, and the one thing that I will say about everybody, I'll say a few things. One, everyone's come from a challenge, right? Everyone's come from a challenging situation. They had to overcome trials and tribulations. I'm halfway there on my journey. You guys are halfway there on your journey, even if that's trying to figure out what your journey is, right? You know, Issa, patty cake. I want me to say he's halfway there. He's already damn near on the journey. Like, you know, he's like.
No, we're still halfway. We're still halfway.
He's killing the journey, but you know, like even opening up and expanding. You know, he's halfway into doing that. You know.
That's right.
So, to close it off, anything that you want to say to the people?
Well, I just want to say, you know, come check out Patty Cake and Ice Cream. You know what I mean? We're here for the community. You know, we're more than just, you know, a food place. You know what I mean? My mom loves to talk to people, so if you want to come in and talk to her, she's always an open ear. You know what I mean? Any young brothers that are looking for any directions, we're always here. You know, you can connect with myself or the brother here. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, you know what I mean? You know, just peace and blessings to everybody. You know what I mean? Let's just try to make our days better. You know?
Hit us up. Make sure that you hit us up. Shout out to Issa. Shout out to Patty Cake. Shout out to Fuego. Shout out to Half No. Shout out to everyone that's like supporting the whole entire movement. You know, we're pushing forth. We're trying to be better as Muslims, as business owners, and as men and as people, right? So, you know, hit us up.
Good. MashaAllah. Very good, brother.
Thank you for having me again.
Oh man, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, man.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.